Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel where today we are going to take a look at the Cold War updates or the Cold War buffs and nerfs to the tanks that have come into the game since the recent season update. So, kicking things off, we have the Type 59D, but actually before we get into this, I do want to say there are 13 tanks on this list, and some of the info here, the list is quite long. So I've not played every single tank. I've played 3 of them. One of them is the Type 59D. I've played the Type 89 and I've played the Type 90. So of the 13, I've played 3, so I can comment on them. But the others, we're just going to have to look at the stats and decide later on whether or not the buffs have, for the most part, the buffs have actually benefited the tank, made them any better. We'll just have to play them and see later on. Okay, let's kick things off then with the Type 59D. The burn, fire, health burn has gone from 205 to 218. That is per second. That can add up over the duration that you are on fire. In the old days, being set on fire used to be, it used to just mean death, because being set on fire really was game-ending experience. Then they nerfed it, and being set on fire became more of a nuisance. And it's like, I'm on fire. Yeah, not so bad. It looks like they're trying to fix that with some of these tanks because, yeah, sometimes being set on fire, even when you set someone on fire, it's not really all that meaningful. Whereas back in the day, it used to mean a lot. Alright, so the health for the hull, 2,560, 2,720. That's better. It's always good to have more hit points. That's nice. The Type 59D did suffer because of power creep, so it's good that they're addressing this. That is an important part. I like that. Right, armor panel number 10 has gone from 35mm to 403. I don't know if that's a typo or if it genuinely was, and ATGM was viewing that armor panel as 35mm when it should have been 403. I'm going to assume that it was viewing it as 35mm. So, yeah, Type 59D used to suffer against ATGMs. Maybe that's different now. I hope it's different now. I haven't been shot by many ATGMs yet to know exactly, but hey, that's what Wargaming is saying there. So, chassis rotation speed, 48 degrees a second to 52. That's a buff. Turret health, buffed. Rotation speed 34 to 38, that's buffed. View range 525 to 560, buffed. Armor panel 19, similar story, 35 to 600mm, that's been buffed. The gun, accuracy 0.28 to 0.24, buffed. Reload 6.6 to 6.1, that has been buffed. And I will say, with the right crew and equipment in this tank, that this combination here feels very, very good. It's not at the same level as the EE. It's not quite the same level as the M1, but it's still pretty good. I know people will compare this to the EE, but if you're not interested in playing the latest overpowered and broken premium because you've got some sort of conscience, then Type 59 is now an option. All right, radio range, yeah, it's Cold War, yeah. Okay, fine, buffed. Alright, Type 63. We'll just go over the upgraded modules here rather than reading everything to save time. Type 63-1, chassis number 2, terrain resistance 0.55, 0.6, 1.4. Those numbers are now lower, so terrain resistance is better. Rotation speed 42 to 46 degrees a second. That's been buffed. Turret number 2, rotation speed 36 to 40. That's been buffed. Version 2 of the gun, accuracy 0.33 to 0.3, reload time 5.2 to 5.1, so that combination, buffed. Radio 3, 620, 650, buffed. Good. I've not played that one though, so I can't really say if it's how it feels different in game. Alright, Type 62. Chassis number 2, terrain resistance 0.55, 0.6, 1.3, 0.4, 0.45, 1.1. Is that the same up here? 0.4, 0.45, yes. So they've buffed the 2 tanks by the same. So they'll be more nimble. They'll turn quicker. So we'll just have to see if how much of a difference that makes in game. Rotation speed 40 degrees a second to 44. Again, that's a buff, not massive, but hey, it might be enough to change the way the whole tank feels. Turret number 2, version 2 of the gun, reload 5.3 to 5.1. That is quite nice. That's going to be quite rapid with the right crew and equipment. And again, radio, that's been buffed, but it's Cold War. Right, Type 62-1, chassis number 2, 0.55, 0.6, 1.3. Again, same numbers, terrain resistance has been buffed. Rotation speed, buffed. Turret number 2, rotation speed, buffed. Radio 3, buffed. So, the trend here, Chinese lines getting some love, which it desperately needed. Good. Alright, Type 63HG, the boat that does not float. Health burn per second, 137 to 141. Okay, that might impact you playing it, that might impact you shooting it. We'll just have to see. Weight has been reduced, so that's a buff to the vehicle, which means the horsepower in the engine is going to be more effective because, well, poor horsepower per ton is going to be higher because the weight has been reduced. Health of the hull has been buffed by 40 hit points. Chassis number 2, 0.55, 0.6, 1.3. Similar numbers again, and rotation speed. So again, terrain resistance and rotation speed. It's going to be a lot more nimble, which is good. This tank needs it because it's literally a boat. You'll need that. All right, turret number 2. Health has been buffed 630 to 640. Version 2 of the gun. 0.34 accuracy to 0.3, 7.7 reload to 7.4. That's good. This tank plays better as a tank destroyer. I know it's a light tank, but it's so big, you're such an easy target to hit. It's better for you to sit back and use the gun as a tank destroyer, because the gun does have good alpha on it. Personally, I'd play it as a tank destroyer because that's how it can be played. You can try playing it as a light tank, but you're not going to be able to hide it in a bush because this thing is, well, like I said before, it's a boat. Alright, Radio 3, buffed. Cool. The premium version of the boat that doesn't float, the burn rate has increased by 7 hit points per second. Again, that may be a massive impact, it might not be. Weight reduction, improving the horsepower per ton. Health, again, increased of the hull. That's always good to have more hit points. So, the terrain resistance, again, buffed. Rotation speed of the hull, buffed. The turret, more hit points, good. Rotation speed, faster. The gun, more accurate, faster reload. 0.28, that's quite good. And reload of 7 seconds. Again, crew and equipment, you can get that down. You can get these figures down, probably down to 0.23, 0.24. And 7 seconds, you could probably get that down to near 5 point, the high 5.8s, 5.9s. We'll have to see. I don't own that one. Someone will have to take it out and see if it's any better than it was before. Alright, Type 80. Again, hit points per second on the burn rate. That's been increased. The hull, weight reduction, health has increased. So it's going to be a bit more nimble and it's got more hit points. That's good. Chassis number 1, rotation speed, buffed. Dispersion factor when the dispersion of the gun when moving and rotating has gone from 0.13 for both to 0.09. That's a buff. That's going to be noticeable during gameplay, and that really could change the vehicle because you don't have to be stationary to get a buff to your accuracy. Alright, turret number 1. The health has been buffed, rotation speed has been buffed, view range has been buffed, and the gun has had a 0.1 second buff to its aim time. So we've got aim time is faster and the accuracy is better. That really could impact that tank. Again, I'll have to go out and play it, not played it yet, but that's positive. Alright, Type 82, hull, weight reduction. Again, horsepower per ton is going to improve. Chassis number 2, rotation speed, buffed. Turret number 2, view range has been buffed. The reload of the gun, 8.7 seconds to 8.4. Not enormous, but hey, with the right crew and equipment and the percentage changes to those numbers, that could really affect the quality of play in this tank. I've not played it. I'll have to play it and go see what it's like. Right, Type 85-1. This is a slightly longer list. I believe we're getting into Era 3 now. Or is this... I think this is Era 3. I can't remember off the top of my head. No, this may be Era 2 still. I think that may be the start of Era 3. But anyway, hull, armor panel, thickness has increased. Chassis 2, rotation speed has been buffed. Turret number 2, armor panel effectiveness against ATGMs, 350 to 441. Okay, they've put 350 there, and at the top here we have 35. So that may be a typo. I don't know, but either way, it's increased, which is good. Armor panel number 4, thickness has increased. Good. Armor panel number 5, thickness has increased. More effective against ATGMs. Armor panel 18, more effective against ATGMs. That's been thickened. Armor panel 24, that's gone from 320 to 380, more effective against ATGMs. Okay, so the ATGM protection for these tanks has increased quite significantly across the board. The turret rotation speed has gone from 42 to 46 degrees a second, that's a buff. View range has gone from 540 to 560, again, that's a buff. And the rifled gun reload has gone from 6.2 to 5.9 seconds. It's more effective. The armor is more effective against ATGMs. It can see further, and it's got a faster reload. It's all positive. It's all good stuff. It's all very good stuff. Right, let's move on. Type 85-2M. The hull, armor panel number 1, effectiveness against ATGMs. That's been increased. Armor panel 9. Same story again, 3 different times. Cool, look at that, 25, 25, 20. Okay, not just ATGMs, that's more effective against ATGMs, heat and high explosive. Wow, okay. Armor panel 14, more effective against ATGMs. Armor panel 28, more effective against ATGMs. Armor panel 29, more effective against ATGMs. Ooh, okay. Concealment has gone from 0.075 to 0.149. Moving concealment. Okay. 0.75 to 0.144. That not moving concealment. That's increased. That's a nerf. I think that's... Man, these numbers... The concealments are normally done in meters, so 0. I'm not sure how to make sense of those numbers. Normally those are meters. Well, either way, that is quite a considerable change. If you go from 75 to 144, that's almost times 2. Yeah. If someone knows more about that, then please let me know. But those numbers right now are not. Brain is not braining with those numbers. Alright, chassis number 2, rotation speed 42 to 46, that's faster, good. Turret number 2, view range has been buffed, weight has been reduced, so again, power to weight ratio is increased. Armor panel number 2, more effective against ATGMs, same for armor panel number 5, armor panel 18, armor panel 20, armor panel 24, and armor panel 28. Smoothbore gun, 125mm. This is the okay. So the 2A46M, I assume, is the version 2. That's the upgraded gun. But either way you look at it, the guns have been buffed. But for the second gun, which is I'm going to assume it's the second gun because it's the M version, and the previous one has no M version. 8.4 second reload to 8.2. That's a buff. All right. And the radio weight has gone from 40 to 16. Okay, that's interesting. They're reducing the weight of radios. Ah. Okay, interesting. Taken out the 90s boombox, and we've gone with the sleeker DAB digital radio from the late 2000s. Very good, nice one. The Type 85-3. Hull, armor panel number 1, more effective against ATGMs. Armor panel 9, more effective against ATGMs, heat and high explosive. Armor panel 14, more effective against ATGMs. Armor panel 26, ATGM damage reduction factor. Okay. Removed ATGM damage reduction factor. Okay, that's... So the damage reduction factor would likely be because it was spaced armor. So armor panel 26 is now probably not spaced. Type 85-3, I would have to look at the tank model to see exactly what that means. Armor panel 28, more effective against ATGMs. Armor panel 29, same story, more effective against ATGMs. And then we've got more concealment numbers here, again similar to what's happened before. That is almost a factor of 2 increase. Yeah, again, we're just going to have to play the tank and see how that's changed. Chassis number 1, rotation speed has been buffed. We'll skip turret number 1. Turret number 2, view range buffed, weight reduced. So power to weight ratio is better, faster, more nimble. Armor panel 2, more effective against ATGMs, and the same for armor panel 5, 18, 20, 24, and 26. Oh, I say 26. 26 has the same damage reduction factor, so I'm going to assume that means it's gone from spaced armor to just a single layer of armor protection. Armor panel 28, more effective against ATGM penetration, and the smoothbore gun, which again I'm going to assume the second gun listed here is the upgraded gun. Aim time from 2.1 to 2 seconds. Reload has gone from 8.3 to 8 seconds. And again, we've gone from the 90s boombox to the modern DAB digital, which is excellent. And that's for the Type 85-3. So, and yeah, Type 85-3, from memory, it's been a while since I've looked at the Chinese line. I believe that's Era 3. Alright, let's move on. Type 88A, health burn per second has increased. Again, probably trying to balance the effectiveness of fire on these vehicles. Hull, armor panel number 1 has been thickened by 30mm. Health has been buffed. Chassis number 2, rotation speed has been increased by 4 degrees a second, going from 46 to 50. Turret number 2, rotation speed has gone from 38 degrees a second, excuse me, to 42 degrees. View range has gone from 525 to 560, that's buffed. Health has gone from 810 to 840, that's buffed. And version 2 of the gun, reload 5.9 seconds to 5.8. That's barely a buff, but hey, still a buff. Engine number 2. Okay, we got our first engine change here. Forward speed used to be 66. It's now 71. Reverse has gone from 24 to 20. We'll call that 26. Okay, so you're going to be more effective forwards and more effective backwards. Okay. Right, Type 89. I have played this. I like this tank. I like this tank destroyer. I always have. The burn rate has been, well, I want to say it's been buffed. No, that's actually, that's a vehicle nerf. If we're being strict about it, that's a nerf. But hey, 192 to 205. Health for the hull has gone from 2400 to 2560. Always good to have more health. Chassis number 2, terrain resistance 0.45, 0.55, 1.3 is now 0.4, 0.45 and 1.1. Again, I noticed that it feels more nimble. Rotation speed 38 to 40. Again, I felt that it feels a lot more nimble. Turret number 2 has had a weight increase. Okay, first time we've got a weight increase. So the turret's probably slower to turn, which I haven't really noticed. There's been a buff on the health. Rotation speed has been buffed. View range has been buffed. And version 2 of the gun has gone from 0.22 accuracy to 0.2, which I have noticed. Reload from 7 seconds to 6.7. Again, with the crew and equipment, that's really noticeable. The accuracy and the reload, you can really put shots down range very, very quickly. Alright, Type 90. Here we go. Top of Era 3. Hull, armor panel number 1, more effective against ATGMs. Same for armor panel number 2. And armor panel number 9 is more effective against ATGMs, heat, and high explosive. Armor panels 14 and 17 are now more effective against ATGMs. Concealment, again, funky decimals are still a factor of 2 there, roughly 2. Fire penalty, right now, brain can't make sense of that. I'm not sure I fully understand that. If someone can understand that, then let me know in the comments. Chassis number 2, rotation speed 38 to 40, that's been buffed. Turret number 1, there is no turret number 2, so view range has been buffed. Weight has been reduced, so we've got the weight reduction there of over, we'll call that roughly 1400. And the weight increase for, no, that was for a different vehicle, never mind. Okay, so the power to weight ratio is going to be better for the Type 90. Armor panel number 2, 5, 18, 24 and 28 are more effective against ATGMs. Version 2 of the gun, I assume, has gone from an 8-second reload to 7.5 second. I noticed that when playing. That was nice. And with the higher alpha, the Type 90 does have, I think it's got the highest alpha of all the top Tech Tree Era 3 heavies. That is noticeable. And now that they've buffed it, I may have to revise my top list. That may have to be a thing. Okay, again, radio, we've gone from the 90s to modern times. And we now move on to the WZ-141, which is the premium tank destroyer, the funky recoilless rifle in ATGM combo. The reload for the recoilless rifle has gone from 17 seconds to 15.8, which is nice. It felt a bit long at first. And the ATGMs have gone from a 38-second reload to a 35-second reload. It still feels a little bit long for what this vehicle is. The ATGMs are really all it's got going for it, because the recoilless rifles are heat and they are notoriously difficult to use because the shell velocity is so low. That's a tough vehicle to play. I'll have to play that one a bit more to see if it's any better than it was before. Okay, finally we are on to the WZ-132. Health burn per second has been increased, so again, that's a nerf. Hull health has been buffed. Chassis number 2, terrain resistance 0.6, 0.65, 1.5 to 0.4, 0.45 and 1.1, that's a buff. Rotation speed from 45 to 46, that's a buff, but only slightly. Turret number 2, 600, 620, buffed. View range 510, 550, again that's a buff. The 100mm gun has gone from an accuracy of 0.35 to 0.31 and a reload of 6.7 to 6.2. That's a buff for the gun. That's good. That's very good. And radio 3, 640 to 700. Now, that's, well, just finishing off, that's also a buff. But it's a radio, but it's Cold War, yeah. So, this is this is a very Chinese heavy list right here. Very Chinese focused, and for those of you that were watching my bottom 10 tanks in the game, you will have noticed the trend of the Chinese tanks just flooding that list. And it's clear that after several months of the Chinese tanks being known to be the worst, Wargaming have finally given them the love they deserve. So now the Chinese line may no longer be the least played, or at least the least played tanks. The bottom 10 tanks won't be dominated by the Chinese. We'll have to see. We'll have to see how this changes the game. But there you go, guys. That is the entire list of buffs and nerfs to the, well, to almost every single Chinese tank in the game. That is all I've got for this video. Let me know your thoughts on these buffs and slight nerfs in the comments below. Let me know if any of these tanks are better or worse than they were before, because I'm always interested to hear your thoughts. And at some point in the near future, I will do a live stream where we play all of these tanks and see how they compare to what they used to be. So, if you guys have enjoyed this video, then please leave it a like. If not a dislike, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll catch you in the next one.